It is an honor to be your keynote speaker today. When I was invited, beginning of the summer, I believe it was, to come and be your keynote speaker, I immediately said yes, and I immediately started thinking about what is it that I want to tell these students. And the first thing I tried to do was try to put myself in your shoes, which was a long, long, long time ago, and to think about your journey, to think about the journey that your family has been through, the journeys and investment that your community has put in you to get to this point. But as I was preparing, thinking about what I wanted to say, I kept on being, for lack of a better term, interrupted or reminded by our realities, particularly in the summer of 2019. So it's the summer of 2019 where we had the 5th year anniversary of the Ferguson uprising. 5 years since the killing of an unarmed black man right across the water here in New York City, Eric Garner. It's a reminder of the injustice that black people in this country still endure. I was reminded by the reality at our southern border when families were being separated. In a nation that calls itself a nation of immigrants, we are abusing immigrants. I'm reminded about the so-called great economy, the lowest levels of unemployment that we've seen in decades, at the same time that we have the highest levels of inequality that we've seen in decades. I was reminded by the continuous mass shootings that we've experienced in this nation and our inability as a nation, a paralysis to do anything about it. And then finally, our president telling 4 members of Congress that they need to go back home where they came from. Members of Congress, U.S. citizens. And why? Because they are Muslim, because they are black, because they're Latina, because they are immigrants. So the message is very clear from the president and his supporters that they don't belong. So instead of thinking about a message to our incoming class about your journey, about celebration, about congratulations, we have to begin by saying, this is your home. Because like those 4 women that the President of the United States said, they don't belong here. Look around. That is us. If they don't belong, then the message is that we don't belong. And so to be very clear, as a professor, we try to create an environment where all views, ideology, point of view gets a safe space so that we can push you to think differently. But one thing we're not going to debate is whether you belong. That's not up for debate. This is your home. So I just want to tell you a little bit something about your home. 50 years ago, young people, your age, saw this university in this city, majority African-American city, yet over 90% of the students were white. And they said, this is unacceptable. They had a different vision. They knew that they belonged here. Particularly students from Newark belonged here. And right across the street, Conklin Hall, these young visionaries took over that building. They renamed it Liberation Hall, and they made demands. They made demands for more access for black students and other students of color, for more staff of color, for more faculty of color. And so today, this university is the most diverse university in the United States because of the vision of those students. And it didn't just start and end here. They were influencing people all across the country. And so small Rhode Island, where I graduated from high school, there was a special program to provide college access to students from historically underserved populations that was created at the University of Rhode Island, and it was created because the people there were influenced by what was happening here in Newark. And so my friends and I, first-generation college students, who may or may not have had the requirements to get into college, who couldn't afford college, we got an opportunity to go to a university, and I stand before you today as a professor because people had a vision. They demanded access. And so today, we're encountering similar struggles. But there are different times. These are different times, and will require different solutions. So here at Rutgers University-Newark, we'll expose you to many things, to literature, to science, to history, and to my favorite, of course, political science. And so we will provide a foundation. We hopefully will provide an inspiration, but we can't provide an imagination. That imagination is yours. So we can imagine a different future. A future that is just. A future that is inclusive. A future that doesn't have to deal with the kind of things that we have to deal with today. But that future will not be handed to us. It will not be given to us. It must be won. You have to win that future. And there is no better place to be to help you prepare to create that future. Welcome home.